You also have a degree in, well, you studied black female identity. What is black female identity? What is that?
It is whatever the individual claims it to be. So for myself, it means that my identity is personal, that it's up to me to construct it, to build it, and to maintain it. I do look at all of the factors, historical factors that kind of go into if there is a such thing as a cellular memory, if there is such a thing as a post-traumatic slave syndrome as articulated by Dr. Joy DeGruy. If there are these things, then I can then arrest it, and then I can decide how I'm going to move forward, that I'm the only one who can really change or shape who I am and how I show up in this world.
And I read that you studied the multiple identities of African women in diaspora. What is diaspora?
The diaspora refers to that community of black folks or African ancestry who are all over the world. Right? That's the diaspora. No matter where, if you're originated in Africa and you have moved away, that is the diaspora from Africa, whether it's voluntary immigration or involuntary immigration. That makes up the diaspora.
Amazing.
So one of the things that I'm interested in is, or that I was interested in, is if there is a black woman or a woman of African ancestry that's living in a country that has a colonial frame, how does she use performance as a way to kind of affirm her identity? We perform identity in a lot of ways, whether it's on stage or off stage. Is it, how she wears her hair, what clothes she wears, what kind of cultural flags does she need to put up so you know who she is, the way she speaks, dances, performs, like all of those are methods of performing identity.
Is there a different identity? Do black African women have different identities than American black women?
I'm sure.
In what way?
Well, part of it, I know some women who live here, who are born in Africa, or who have African citizenship, and they may be American citizens too, but their home is, they were born in Africa.
Right.
And they have that, right? They have that kind of knowledge and connection to their ancestry, whether it goes back 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 generations, they may have that. So that kind of grounds them in self. My family, thankfully, is very close on both sides, and they've done some investigating.
And so does white women have the same identity as black women?
I doubt it.
And why do you doubt that?
Well, because we have different experiences in the world and culture. In a lot of ways, there is some shared culture. There's some places where it will overlap, and then there are some places where it will diverge.
I noticed that black women got involved with the white women, those white liberal women who hate men, the women's movement, feminist kind of junk. Black women.
I agree. I don't identify as a feminist.
Yeah, good for you.
That's why, though.
Yeah, black women got involved with that, and now the black women are hating the men and the unborn children and everything like the white woman. Should black women have gotten involved with that movement?
Well, there would be no feminist movement if it wasn't for black women already kind of taking that occupied space. White women weren't going out.
Well, they started it first.
No, they did not.
Or white women didn't start the movement first?
Black women did.
And when and where and who?
When? way, way back in history. Going back to Susan Kate Anthony and Sojourner Truth, Maria Stewart. 1831, Maria Stewart was addressing mixed audiences of men, women, black, white. She was out there when no one was out there.
Who was this?
Her name is Maria Stewart.
So
she's a scholar.
So black women started hating men before white women did?
Oh, I don't think there's any hate. There was no hate there with Maria Stewart.
Oh,
So
who
the
started
hate-
hating men first, the black women or the white women?
Who hates men? Who hates men?
The white women definitely hate them.
You think
and
so?
a lot of black women hate men now. Who started that movement first?
Well, I'm going to disagree with a movement about hating men, but I do think that that in that moment, where that pivot came from historically, this is how I teach it. That pivot comes historically because of competition. So black men earned the right to vote before white women. And that really illuminated white women's racism because they were willing to fight for the rights of women, and for equality, but only to the extent that it was going to serve them. So when black men got the right to vote before white women, then their tactics changed and they started talking about black men as the enemy. Right? Like, how does that heathen get, how does that, 3/4 of a person or this non-person get the right to vote before me, right? And so they began to hold the black man up as evidence to how bad they were being treated. This is where black women, as a whole, philosophically stepped away because now you are attacking my home. You're attacking my father, my brothers, my children. Like, that's not what we're about. Womanists want to be in dialogue with men, which is why I wanted to come and have this conversation today. I'm nothing. I have a beautiful, powerful husband and sons and brothers and uncles.
Is he the head of you?
Is he the head of me?
Yes. Your husband?
Yes. I submit to him being the head of me.
So you
it's a
obey
struggle sometimes.
I know. I can imagine.
It's a struggle.
So there are times when you do obey your husband?
Of course.
Okay. And sometimes you don't?
Obey? I mean, it doesn't really work like that. He doesn't give me orders.
Why not?
Why should he?
I thought you said he was the head of you. He should be giving you orders.
Why?
Because he's your head.
But a head thinks.
Right.
So all he has to do is think it and send the signal and I'll get it. He doesn't have to send me orders.
Meaning that you can think what he's thinking?
Meaning that, what is the analogy? Because if the analogy is that he is the head houses the brain, which sends off signals. Yes, but he is the head of our household. He is my husband. I definitely, in the end of the day, we can have discussion, but I will, and I am still learning to say, all right, and to say that's my husband, and I have to put not just him, but this relationship before my friends, sometimes even my immediate family.
Your mama.
But people want to know why we've been together forever.
Well,
We've been together
mama,
for 21 years.
Oh, amazing.
And I'm not that old. We've been married a long time. And it has been a push and pull, but he also listens, my husband.
When your mama try to get involved with you and your husband, do you tell her how the cow ate the cabbage?
What does that mean?
Like, back off, mama, this ain't your business. Right on.
My mother, but this is the thing. My mother has been married twice.
Oh my God.
She loves love. She likes to be in relationships. She would marry again if she could.
Does she have like 20 kids, you said?
No, my mother has 3 children.
Oh.
She has 16 siblings.
Oh, yeah, okay. So let me ask, you said you wish you and your father were closer. You could be closer. Does he know you want to be closer to him?
Yes, we've talked about it.
And what's preventing that from happening?
Nothing is preventing it. It's just, in fact, my parents divorced when I was young.
Right.
And so I remember him. I don't remember him living with us, but I remember when he left.
Amazing.
I was around 6, but he was in Inglewood. I was in Pasadena. So it was a classic kind of, story of every other weekends in Inglewood, or well, no matter what it is that I'm involved in. I ran track for many years. My father was always there. No matter what I did, he was there, but he wasn't in the home.
Right.
And that's a big difference.
It is.
I didn't realize that difference until later.
Right.
But I also think that it set up a dynamic to where I'm accustomed to that distance. And and it was like the way I was raised, and kind of being split between these two spaces, back and forth between my mother and my father.
Good.
And it's not good.
Yeah.
And so I'm aware of that, and we keep trying to to close it.
Yeah.
Spend more time together, to check in. He's not absent, but he's not in like my mother is in.
Well, just forgive him for not being there, and forgive your mother for running him off. Because he couldn't handle your mother. You know how your mother is.
I do, but you don't.
She ran off 2 men already.
Okay.
So you know how she is.
Now
so
you do love.
Forgive your mother for running him off, and forgive your father for not being able to deal with your mother and leaving you there.
I forgive.
Everything will change.
I forgive my mother for. I forgive my mother and I forgive my parents for not fighting for their relationship. I forgive them both. I know that she didn't do it, and I know that it wasn't his fault. It takes two in any relationship. My father and mother, we've had countless conversations. When I got to my 20s, we had to go there. I had to rehash all of it. I needed to know.
That's right.
But the forgiveness and the love, like, I love my father.
Right on.
I do. I love him. And my stepfather, who passed away, she didn't run him off. He wasn't well.
Oh, she killed that one.
No, the United States government killed him.
You know how men die first?
The United States government killed him.
How?
Because he was in Vietnam and he got Agent Orange.
Oh, okay. Whew.